Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait a minute. You're telling me I can stack gains on top of my gains? Let's do it. How do I do it?
Crypto Slow, cryptocurrency news and investing.
Crypto Slow with more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? Today's topic, Compound.finance. So, as a lot of you know, I recently liquidated my SNX holdings, and I was looking for other opportunities in the DeFi space. And what I've come upon is Compound. Compound.finance is Ethereum-based DeFi that allows you to take loans on collateralized assets. So, why do I like this one? I like this one because it has some safer protocol and it's not dependent on a variable token. And I'll explain that here in a minute. So let's get right into it. So you go to Compound.finance, you click the app button. Now, pretty simple interface. We've got supply balance, that's how much I have staked as collateral. Borrow balance, how much I've pulled out as collateral. First and foremost, the system likes you to stay at less than 75%. So that means if I had $10, that means I've pulled out $7.50. Now, if you want to be a little safer, you could drop that into the 50% region. So if you deposited $10 worth of ETH, I would borrow $5. Now, what do I need to get started? Well, you need the Chrome browser, and of course you need MetaMask Ethereum wallet, and you need some Ethereum. So let's get right into it. I'm trying to keep this initial tutorial for dummies and as easy as possible. I'd like to say that there is liquidation on this platform. So if your balance goes the wrong way, meaning ETH drops all of a sudden, this bar is going to increase up higher and it's going to put you in more danger of getting liquidated. So when you get liquidated, other users of the community can actually buy your debt, and then it's gone. So there is risk involved in this, so definitely understand what you're doing. In essence, you are depositing Ethereum onto the blockchain and you're withdrawing another coin that is minted. And the Ethereum is the collateral and the coin that's minted is what you pull out. So now let's click on this and show that you can deposit different coins as collateral. But in this case, we're going to stick with ETH because I like what ETH is doing. And yeah, it's been pretty solid. There was a little pullback. Let's look at the 1 week. But we still had that crossover on 1334, and it's been bouncing nicely along this line. We do have Ethereum 2.0 parts of it coming out in July, as said by Vitalik. So Ethereum looks like it's on track to get to $300. So the question is, why would I want to do this? Well, there's a lot of reasons why you'd want to do this. In a bull market, a system like this makes sense. In a bear market, the risk is much higher because of the downward trends and the possibility of getting in a bad collateralization level. But like I said, I want to keep this as simple as possible. So on this side, you deposit a coin as collateral. On this side, you can borrow coins to do with whatever you want. So you could get wrapped BTC, Augur, Basic Attention Token, 0x, or DAI. But in today's video, and this is the intro, we want to keep this as simple as possible. Personally, my recommendation is to mint, borrow DAI. And you're like, why would I want to borrow a DAI and not? Maybe I like the BAT token. The problem with some of these other tokens is your debt could be variable. So if I borrowed Basic Attention Token, the attention token price could change. DAI is a stable coin which is always close to $1. It's pegged to $1. So if I borrowed $10 and I come back to the system later, it doesn't matter what the market's done. I still will only owe the $10. So the advantage of borrowing DAI is the debt is not going to change. Now you could say, well, wait a minute, DAI has a 9% interest rate. So that means if I take 12 months, well, actually, if I take, what was it exactly? 9.26, 0.0926 divided by 12. That means, and then times 100, that I pay 0.77% interest. So if I borrowed $10, 1 month from now I would owe $10.77. Now keep in mind, this could make this line go slowly creep into a worse position. So I would recommend, if you're getting into this, I would only borrow like 50% of whatever your collateral was. So ETH is the collateral. I'd borrow, so if I deposited 1,000 in ETH, I would only borrow 500 in DAI. So I would get 500 DAI tokens. Now the next question is, what do I do with that DAI? Well, great question. Basically, you go over here to Uniswap and you can swap it for whatever you want. You get some Chainlink, you get some more ETH. What I am doing, I will probably convert it to ETH, more ETH. Now, you're like, whoa, wait a minute, Slobo. I could take the ETH that I bought with this DAI and buy more ETH. I would not recommend doing that. That is hyper compounding and is extremely risky, especially for someone first getting into this platform. Don't recommend it at all. So let's get to it. So you decide what you're going to deposit as collateral. In this case, we're depositing ETH. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and deposit 1 ETH. Okay, hit supply. All right, see what the gas is. 20 cents. I can deal with that. So what we've done is I am supplying collateral to the system. So basically we wait until that confirms on the blockchain, and that's grinding away, and we'll see. And then once that is confirmed, I will now have the ability to borrow some DAI. Okay, pretty simple. All right, it confirmed. Now, as you can see, my borrow limit just went. Remember, we want to stay below 50%. So now, I'm going to get that DAI. Okay, so you could hit safe max. Okay, but I know I just deposited about $210, but I don't want to do that. I'm going to go half. I'm going to go like 110. Okay, so that means I am borrowing 110 DAI stable tokens, or basically 110 USD. I hit borrow. Always keep an eye on that gas fee. Sometimes it jacks up. Wow, that's expensive. But for the purposes of this video, I will go high. I know that's a high gas fee, but just want to get it done quickly. So now if you're not in a rush, you can keep the gas fee lower and you don't worry about it. So I'm going to close that. And then once that confirms on the blockchain, my borrow limit, this is basically my collateralization level. I'm at 60%. So 50 to 60%, I'm comfortable with that. Like I said, that gives me, if ETH drops tomorrow by 15-20%, I'm not going to sweat it too bad. I'll still be in a decent position. Now, okay, so then you go over to Uniswap, and as you can see, I have 143 DAI, And like I said, I'm trying to leverage this so that I can get more ETH, okay? And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pick ETH. That gets me 0.63 ETH. I'm going to hit swap. And I'm good with that. So now, keep in mind, my concept is to stack ETH. Now, where do I see this as being safe? I see it being safe in the sense that it's zero sum. I am borrowing ETH, I am depositing ETH, and I'm borrowing ETH, okay? So I'm not too worried if something happens because I still have that ETH in my wallet, okay? So let's go back to the interface. I'll also leave a link down here below that has frequently asked questions. And like I said, this does require a level of interaction. You have to kind of keep an eye on your collateralization level, which is here, and that is your total debt. Okay? So now, the next question you're going to have is, how do I repay my loan? Well, you would go to Uniswap and you would buy some DAI tokens, and then you would simply click on the DAI, click on repay, and then enter the amount you want to repay. So as interest accumulates on this, keep an eye on it. You would want to pay your interest. So if I had $1,000, like I said, basically 1,000, the interest on that, $7. So I'd have that $7 in interest that I would have to pay. So just keep an eye on that and make sure collateralization level. Again, when you're borrowing, there's that auto button, but I would take half as a starting point of whatever you're putting in the system of the current price of ETH, and that's what you would stake. And I'll show you. So that's it. That's the basic tutorial on Compound. So what are the key takeaways? Key takeaways are this, to repeat. The left side is where you deposit collateral. In this case, we're using Ethereum as collateral. The right side is where you pull coins out of the system. Again, I recommend doing DAI. The advantage of that is it's a stable coin that's pegged 1-to-1. And number three is I would keep this borrow limit at 50 or 60% because you don't want to get close to the liquidation scenario. So, and you're like, okay, so the whole concept of this is as Ethereum increases, I'll be able to pay back my stable loan and compound my Ethereum and get more Ethereum. So it's a pretty cool system. It's a great introduction into decentralized finance, and I think it's pretty cool. And it's been around for a while, and it's all on chain. So that's what I love about it. Yeah, it's a very cool system. So hope you liked today's video. If you have any questions or comments about Compound, please post below. And as always, this is Crypto Slow. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking.